Let's begin with a powerful passage from Exodus 3:4. God calls Moses from the burning bush. "Moses, Moses." He responds, "Here I am." This moment signifies purpose and calling. But what led to this encounter? Moses had fled Egypt, carrying the weight of his past. We all have burdens, don't we? The Bible's texts were composed over centuries, capturing a wide range of experiences. The Old Testament, or Hebrew Bible, contains 39 books reflecting ancient cultures and laws. Key texts like the Torah shape our moral foundations. These stories still resonate today. Then, the New Testament arrives, with 27 books written in the 1st century CE. It tells the story of Jesus' life and the growth of the Church. What insights do you find here? Most of these texts are in Greek, the common language of the time. However, the Old Testament's roots lie in Hebrew, offering depth in language. Understanding cultural and historical contexts enhances our interpretations, especially prophetic messages. Archaeological discoveries, like the Dead Sea Scrolls, deepen our understanding, acting as windows to the past. The scrolls show how texts have transformed over time. Their evolution is relevant today. As we read, we find various interpretations, literal, allegorical, and moral. Each has its place. Applying these teachings offers practical guidance. How can we incorporate them into our lives? Consider the prodigal son in Luke 15:11-32. It speaks of forgiveness and redemption. Imagine the relief of returning home. Many have experienced this kind of reconciliation. Next, reflect on Moses and the Exodus. His calling inspires us to seek purpose. And the widow's offering in Mark 12:41-44. Acts of kindness, no matter how small, matter. These stories impart profound lessons, connecting societies across time and space. Bible studies foster community and growth, uniting believers in shared journeys. How do you engage with these texts? Start your journey, explore their wisdom today. Join a Bible study and experience the transformation it brings. Your spiritual growth awaits. Before diving into specific verses, it is crucial to understand the historical context. Every book was written to a specific audience facing unique challenges. By understanding who the original readers were, we can better grasp the intended message and avoid misinterpreting the ancient cultural nuances. We must also consider the literary genres present within the collection. The Bible contains poetry, prophecy, historical narratives, and letters. Each genre follows its own set of rules. Reading a psalm is different from reading a legal code or a parabolic teaching from Jesus. Let's look at the Old Testament first. This foundational section establishes the covenant between God and humanity. It provides the lineage of Israel and the moral framework that would later influence the entire world. It is the root from which the New Testament grows. Within the Old Testament, we find the Pentateuch, the first 5 books. These books cover creation, the fall of man, and the establishment of the law. They set the stage for everything that follows, defining the relationship between the Creator and His people. Moving into the historical books, we see the rise and fall of kingdoms. These accounts are not just stories. They are lessons in faithfulness and rebellion. They show how human decisions impact the destiny of nations and the spiritual health of a community. The wisdom literature offers a different perspective. Books like Proverbs and Ecclesiastes deal with the practicalities of life. They tackle questions of suffering, joy, and how to live a meaningful life amidst a complicated and often unpredictable world around us. Prophetic literature is another vital layer. The prophets were not just foretellers of the future, but messengers of justice and righteousness in their own time. They called people back to their spiritual roots and pointed toward a future hope and redemption. Now, we transition to the New Testament. This section focuses on the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. It is the fulfillment of the promises made in the Old Testament, bringing a new covenant of grace and salvation to all mankind. The Gospels are the heart of the New Testament. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John provide 4 unique perspectives on the life of Jesus. Each author emphasizes different aspects of his character to reach a specific audience with a unified truth. After the Gospels, the book of Acts chronicles the birth and expansion of the early church. It shows how the Holy Spirit empowered ordinary people to spread a radical message across vast distances, overcoming immense cultural and political barriers. The epistles, or letters, were written by leaders like Paul, Peter, and John. These documents were meant to guide early Christian communities through theological questions and practical living. They remain incredibly relevant for navigating modern ethical and social complexities. Finally, the book of Revelation offers a vision of hope and ultimate restoration. It uses highly symbolic language to describe the final victory of good over evil. It reminds believers that history is moving toward a purposeful and divine conclusion. To study effectively, one must develop a consistent habit. Setting aside dedicated time each day allows for deep contemplation. It is not about rushing through chapters, but about letting the words sink deep into your heart and mind over time. Using a good study Bible can be transformative. These editions often include maps, timelines, and cross-references. These tools help connect the dots between different parts of the Bible, showing how themes weave together from Genesis all the way to Revelation. Don't shy away from difficult passages. Hard questions often lead to the deepest insights. When you encounter something confusing, use commentaries or scholarly resources to gain perspective. Wrestling with the text is often where real spiritual growth happens. Observation is the first step in any study. Ask yourself, what is actually happening in this text? Who is speaking? What are the key verbs? By looking closely at the literal meaning, you build a solid foundation for deeper interpretation. Interpretation follows observation. Once you know what the text says, ask what it meant to the original audience. This prevents us from making the text say whatever we want it to say, keeping us grounded in the author's original intent. Application is the ultimate goal. Knowledge without application is merely intellectual exercise. Ask yourself, how does this truth change my perspective? How should this command influence my actions today? The Bible is meant to be lived, not just read. Consider joining a small group. Studying in community provides accountability and diverse perspectives. Others may see nuances in a passage that you missed, and sharing your struggles and triumphs fosters a sense of belonging and shared spiritual journey. Prayer is an essential component of Bible study. Ask for wisdom and clarity before you begin. Approach the text with a humble heart, seeking not just information, but a personal encounter with the truth that can change your life. Keep a journal of your findings. Writing down your thoughts, questions, and revelations helps solidify your learning. Looking back at old entries can show you how much you have grown and how God has worked in your life. Be mindful of the cultural distance. We live in a modern, technological world, while much of the Bible was written in agrarian, ancient societies. Recognizing these differences helps us apply ancient principles to modern contexts without losing the core message. Theology is the study of God's nature. As you study the Bible, you are essentially building a theological framework. This helps you understand who God is, his character, his attributes, and his relationship with the entire created order. Remember that the Bible is a living document. Its truths are timeless, yet they speak fresh to every generation. No matter how many times you read it, you will always find something new to discover and something new to learn. Don't get discouraged by slow progress. Some days the text will feel clear, and other days it will feel impenetrable. Stay consistent. The discipline of study is just as important as the moments of sudden, brilliant clarity you experience. As you move forward, let your study be fueled by curiosity and awe. The Bible is an ocean of wisdom, and you are just beginning to dip your toes in the water. Prepare yourself for a lifetime of incredible discovery. To deepen your connection, consider keeping a dedicated study journal. Write down your questions, your struggles, and the specific verses that move your heart. Looking back at these entries months later will allow you to see how your understanding and your faith have matured through the process. Don't study in isolation forever. While personal reflection is vital, engaging with a community of believers can offer fresh perspectives you might have missed. Discussing difficult passages with others helps challenge your biases and brings the richness of collective wisdom to your individual journey. Remember to utilize modern tools like concordances, commentaries, and Bible dictionaries. These are not replacements for prayerful reading, but rather sturdy bridges that help you cross from confusion into clarity. They provide the historical and linguistic context necessary to grasp the author's original intent. Pay close attention to the literary genres within the text. Studying a psalm requires a different mindset than studying the laws in Leviticus or the letters of Paul. Recognizing these styles prevents you from misinterpreting poetry as strict history or prose as mere metaphor. Finally, let the truths you discover transform your character. Bible study isn't just an academic exercise or a mental puzzle to solve. It is a spiritual discipline meant to shape your heart. Let the ancient words breathe life into your modern daily actions. Don't feel rushed to master everything at once. Biblical scholarship is a lifelong journey of discovery. Start small, perhaps with a single chapter or a short parable, and allow yourself the grace to ask difficult questions. Curiosity is the fuel that keeps your spiritual investigation moving forward. As you grow, look for the connective tissue that binds the Old and New Testaments together. Notice how the promises made to ancient patriarchs find their fulfillment in the life of Jesus. Seeing these grand patterns will deepen your awe for the overarching narrative of redemption.